All right. Hello, this is Wmpyr. When you go online and you look up Filipino martial arts and you're like, I want to see what Filipino martial arts looks like, and chances are, 9 times out of 10, what you're going to see is they're working with sticks, and the student makes an attack, something like that, with the stick, and the instructor is going to block that attack and then go into some kind of counter, and then from there do like a disarm, and then from there the instructor will go into like a, you could tell is like kind of like a free flow, and they'll go into like a quick fury, a whirlwind of attacks, and then that's usually it for that segment right there, and you'll see like a bunch of those. I think that's very, very common. Um, Now, all that to me is textbook. It's for learning purposes only, and it's not for application. That is not the way it's going to look when you actually try to apply that stuff in real life. No way. That is just a presentation, like I said, a demonstration, and it is really for just learning, completely for learning. In real life, it won't look anything like that, right? Um, and why is it so different from real life? Well, why it's so different is because learning and application are two different things. So that's really the only explanation that I have for you guys is that yeah, those are two separate things. So that's why you have to separate them. If you don't separate them, you're going into dangerous territory where you're gonna start getting those two confused, and you will be unrealistic, and that's a problem for real life application. So what I'm focused on right here for this video is the whirlwind part. So after they block, counter, disarm, and then they go into like this crazy fury, and what you're watching there, you the viewer goes, oh, okay, so that's the part where now that you took the weapon away from the other guy, you dismantled the guy, now you're finishing him off so that they can't pick up the weapon and attack you again, or you're taking care of business. This is the part where you finish them off, right? So that's what automatically a lot of people are going to assume, and once again, it's not realistic, so you shouldn't. I highly disagree with that. But that part right there, where the instructor is going, all that, that's the part where is to me, when you make that realistic, it's like, okay, how am I going to use just that part in real life? Is the poison cloud. So you're doing that rapid whirlwind, and you're doing that to get away, to create the distance. Okay. And so I received a comment a couple of days ago here on YouTube on one of the Poison Cloud videos that I made. And let me see if I could find it for you guys. The guy said, all right, the guy said, isn't this what the guy did in Indiana Jones when Indy just shoots him and walks away? and he's talking about the poison cloud, right? And you know what? If that's what helps you guys learn the poison cloud, is that mental image where, yeah, that scene in Indiana Jones where I don't remember how he got there, but Indiana Jones is like in a crowded street in Cairo, if I'm not mistaken, in Egypt. It's been a while since I've seen it. And then all of a sudden, like, he's been battling guys or something, and then a sea of people just kind of like separate, and there's the boss character, right? So the guy shows up. He's dressed in all black, if I remember correctly, maybe a red sash or something, and he has like this massive looking sword. And he's like, and he freaking spins it around and everything. I think it was two-handed, but he spins it around. And Indiana Jones is like, oh, great. Now I got to deal with this. And then, of course, he kind of does a Han Solo type of move where he just pulls out his gun and shoots the guy. And it wasn't the big fight that everyone was expecting. And you, the viewer, you watch that, and it's very satisfying, right? Where you go, oh, that makes sense. Um, so if that image helps you go, okay, that's the poison cloud, then hey, by all means, use it, right? But of course, that is movie, and of course, you don't want that to happen to you, where you just get shot and that's it. The way the guy did that was he was using that to intimidate, to show off, and say, "I'm the badass. I now you're in for a real fight," kind of thing, right? And he stands there, and of course that's where Indiana Jones has all the time in the world, takes out his gun and just shoots the guy. So in real life, the way you would use the poison cloud and get away, you'd be gone. It is a survival tactic. It's a survival technique. So what that guy did was he was literally expecting a fight to occur, which would be extremely unfair. What he has, this massive like scimitar sword, two-handed massive blade, and Indiana Jones is barehanded, supposed to fight this guy. So that's so I could see how he thought he had a massive advantage, but from that distance, and it was perfect for Indiana Jones to use the pistol. It was a perfect setup, and he perfectly had the guy thinking the wrong way, and he took advantage, and that's what resulted. So anyway, that's seldom in real life it's going to go perfect. In fact, Murphy's Law comes in, right, where lots of things go wrong. So anyway, once again, that's a very memorable scene. So if you're going to use that scene to remember, that's the poison cloud, and also that's the poison cloud used wrong, then by all means, that you use that thought, and then from there go, well, how would I use it properly? And that chain of thought is extremely, extremely important. So because it can definitely happen. You show off and you swing around your knife or whatever, and the guy just pulls a gun on you. You're asking for it. So that's not the purpose of the poison cloud, right? It's not to fight. It's not to it's not to have a showdown. none of those things. So anyway, my YouTube channel, I've been focusing a lot on the poison cloud, trying to help you guys have it in your arsenal for survival purposes. And part of it is when I see self-defense footages on these what do you call it, security cameras. And you see the stuff, like whether it's a convenience store or a gas station clerk or whatever, these people are getting attacked, or even a car mugging. That's the first one that really comes to mind is I remember this car mugging, 2 or 3 guys trying to take this dude's car. The dude comes out, he basically takes out his knife and he fights them off, and I'm not even sure if he even made contact, maybe like once or twice, and even then I'm not sure how solid the contact was. Maybe just cut their clothes, that's about it. And I was like, yeah, that's the poison cloud done effectively, but not skillfully, right? The guy was just trying to do his best to survive that situation. It was all on instinct. However, if he had polished up that skill, it would have been the poison cloud. And it is basically the same thing. That's what he did. And he was able to protect himself, protect the car, and everything went well. Now, I don't recommend for him to come out like that. If they had a gun, they could have shot him, sure. But you also have to think about, what is the bad guy's purpose here? And are you forcing them to use a gun on you? If they wanted a quick carjacking. They're not there to, to kill you. That shouldn't be their goal. Now, some people may be crazy enough that they don't care and they'll do it. Or in some places, life is cheap enough that they will do that. So that's why, it's not recommended, to just use the poison cloud. Like, oh, I got an answer, I'm going to use the poison cloud. Try that in Brazil, see what happens. Well, I hope you don't. Because once again, typically or logically thinking, their goal shouldn't be to kill you. They're only killing you because you kind of gave them like no choice is the logical answer there. Unless life is just that cheap and this person's a sociopath, like a total psychopath, and enjoys killing and just going to kill you right there. But if that was the case, once again, it's changing the motive, So we have to think of it like that. So I don't want you guys to think that, okay, so the poison cloud's going to solve every single problem, and I'm just going to use the poison cloud left and right. No, it's just a very logical, effective, and realistic choice. If you're forced in that situation, the chances of you using this rather than you taking out a shotgun and blowing people away, this is a much higher probability. This is just a much higher, just like them trying to kill you is a much lower probability than them trying to jack your car, you do the poison cloud, and they just take off running, and they're going to try this again on someone else. That is a more likely, more possible scenario. So just because I've said it to you guys before, is percentage cannot be ignored. That is part of reality. Okay, so highly unlikely versus more likely, and what I'm trying to prepare you guys is more for highly likely, rather than thinking about the worst case scenario or thinking about, just your ideals. Like, I want to destroy the bad guy, thinking like that. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.